Welcome, everybody, to the Rant Sessions. Casey Bryant here alongside Matt McNamara and Rob DeLuca. Joining us here in the booth tonight, Austin King, captain of the Marist College Red Foxes, and alternate captain Michael Donato. Guys, thank you very much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's more of a comment that you don't have anything better to do, really. So
love to be here.
Of course. So the Red Foxes are coming off an eventful weekend, to say the least. On Pack the Rink night on Friday night, they talked the Siena Saints to take home the Route 87 Challenge Cup. On Saturday, they had a tough loss to William Patterson University, but guys, it certainly was an exciting weekend, and I'm glad you guys were able to bring home the trophy here on Friday.
No, it's always a big game against Siena. No one likes Siena in our book, at least. But
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
hope
It's
no
a
one
rival
does.
school. Everybody gets up for the game, and we try and get as many fans there as possible. So that way, we feed off the energy that everybody gives us. And
For as much as the school tries to sell a Marist versus Siena rivalry, like we haven't witnessed it in any main sport, this is probably the most tangible evidence of a Marist-Siena rivalry.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Well, just beginning how chippy the game gets. I know Michael and you in particular were getting into it at certain points in the game, and both last semester as well.
absolutely, I mean, when you're going for the Route 87 Cup, everything gets a little more heated than usual. So it gets
I
interesting.
mean, yeah, you guys have been playing them for 4 years, so I'm guessing that builds up. You're still playing against some guys you played freshman year in some cases, and so how do you just go into that saying, I gotta keep my calm, I gotta keep my cool? We were talking to Justin Larkin about this. How do you keep your cool, and how were you able to keep your cool and just focus on hockey when it's such a big game and for so many reasons?
well,
Yeah.
it definitely gets a little more personal at times. Like you see the same number every year, and you're like talking smack to them, and no one likes each other at that point. You want to get the upper hand. You sometimes want to do something you shouldn't do, but you got to hold back for the team's sake.
Yeah, maybe let it out afterwards and share
Yeah.
your frustration some other way, I'm
Absolutely,
sure.
it's definitely a mental game as much as a physical game. So you really gotta stay on your good behavior because like you said, when we get penalties, the team just starts to get out of whack and everybody gets out of line. But when we kind of flow all together and we stay on what we really want to get done, everything happens and everything falls into place.
In the
We definitely play best when we're rolling as a whole team. Like you
Yeah.
can't just keep on putting penalty kill power play lines out there because everyone gets out of whack, like Donato said.
In the first period, y'all were outshot 23-11, and then the light switch turned. And in the second period, you guys got 2 goals, and then you got 5 unanswered in the third period. I mean, what happened in between periods, really, that lit the fire underneath you guys? Because it was a tight game for 40 minutes, and then it turned into not a tight game. I guess to put it delicately, it got out of hand real quick. So what happened? What was the turning point, really, in that game?
I mean, we talked in between periods about basically, coming out better than we had the period before, and I think, Kinger and Justin were really trying to get us on the right path by leading by example in their play, and I think everybody really realized that, we can't keep playing the way we were playing in the first and the beginning of the second period in order to win these, the hockey games. So we all needed to pick it up, and I think just we all got behind each other, and that's what really, changed the game. We all started to believe in each other, started to, instead of blame each other for what was going on.
Taylor just started sinking. Are we going to sink her?
Studio A, I don't know what happened.
I thought you guys were doing that on purpose.
I started looking to Rob, like, what are you doing? Because he's the most aerial one. I thought he was pushing down on it or something.
I was like,
But,
that was
but anyway, I'm like, I don't know how you lost a little concentration.
So, it really just took the whole team just getting behind each other to, make the turnaround that we needed for the final win.
It must have been weird just taking on that goalie. 6 foot, I believe 6'8", 6'9". And in the first half, you guys you're getting some shots, but you guys were going high.
Yeah.
When, as soon as you started going low, it just kept trickling by him. I mean, I'm sure that's intimidating going up because I don't know if you guys have ever faced a goalie that tall.
Well, it is
of
hard.
that stature
When you
before.
look at the net and you just see a big green blob and you don't really see much. It is a little intimidating for the first couple of seconds, but once the team gets going, we've always been a slow team off the gate, I feel like, but second, third period, I guess we just start rallying all the time, and once you start shooting the puck, we realize the goalie wasn't really making best saves out there.
Yeah,
So,
and getting dejected
and we
after
did
those
make
last
those,
couple. Once you kept
exactly
adding on to it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly what you were saying, though. We realized that we were shooting high, and because he was so big, he was stopping everything, so we realized we kind of had to put the puck a little bit lower and maybe get it off of his pads and bang home a few rebounds.
yeah.
So
30 goals.
Austin, it's Pack the Rink night, Friday night. we're doing it for Hodgkin's lymphoma, as you guys might be aware by now, and you scored the first goal for Marist. Talk about how that felt for you.
Oh, it was an exciting game, obviously. Just playing in front of that many people, we haven't done that in a long time, honestly. The whole team got riled up. You jump towards the fan crowd, and everyone's against the glass, running back at you, and the team jumps on your back. It's like, words can't really explain how you feel in that moment, but it's something I'm never going to forget, that's for sure.
It was so funny that in his interview before leading up to the game, Justin had said, yeah, we really don't want to play too much into the crowd. You want to make sure that you stay focused. And that went out the window like 5 minutes in. Immediately that went out the window. That was so funny.
The best example, when luckily we were able to catch on camera, was Connor Flynn when he took the lead. Conducting. Obviously, I think hockey, for you guys, must be home field advantage is key when you bring home those bigger crowds, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime we hear our goal song go on in the in the arena, we have a great time. And anytime we hear our home fans, and you could look up and you see everybody. Justin said we can't let that emotion get to our heads, and we can't get too out of whack. But using that energy is pretty much what fuels us to keep going and get more goals.
Yeah, even in the off-ice aspect, like we have the home rink, we have our own locker room, we all do our own thing at that point, and like it's just more fun. We get there early, we hang out, we do what we gotta do to get ready, but we all like to joke around the locker room.
I'm sure you do. You guys have a lot of characters.
We have
on
our
your
songs,
team.
you know.
Oh, you have your okay.
We have our songs.
Absolutely.
People start dancing and stuff.
Max Henry,
no names necessary.
Max Henry's stand-up comedy routine gets you pumped up.
Absolutely, as always. We have, like he said, a lot of characters on the team, but that's what just really comes together. Everybody's like a family, and that's why I think most of these games go the way they go. We all try and play for each other, and like you were saying, Hodgkin's lymphoma night, we all wanted to play for Kinger because he, leads by example, and he always does what he needs to do out there for us, so we just wanted to return the favor.
Mm-hmm. So now you've had the A slapped on your chest there heading into this semester officially, finally, and congrats to you on that. Mm-hmm. So how did that come about? What was the conversation that led up to finally getting the letter stitched onto your sweater this semester?
I think it was just more of a maturity aspect. I tried to be a little more team-oriented. My mental side of the game was kind of lacking in the first semester, and I think that's where I tried to pick it up for. I was just making some bad decisions that were, hurting the team with penalties and stuff I needed to clean up. And now that I think I did, I was able to help, just lead by doing what I do best. And, hopefully that continues, for the remainder of the season. Hopefully to the playoffs and hopefully regionals.
You're always the one to crack the whip, too, on the bench. It's pretty easy to hear you in a small rink. How do you know where the line is, and how do you know what's going to motivate guys when the right time is to let people know to wake up?
That's tough. It's really all on situational stuff. When I see somebody that's maybe not having the best game, I try and go over and just pick them up, and it's really just when I see something going on that I think we could do better. I know that we could do better, so I'm just going to let everybody know because sometimes they need to hear it in order to, get that little kick in the ass. Not that, not to curse or anything, but sometimes the boys need to be sometimes the boys need to be riled
just
up.
Just don't go Max Henry on us.
There was not enough editing for that.
No.
I think we might have missed one or two, but it's okay.
No, but absolutely, everybody needs to hear when they're doing something wrong, and everybody needs to be told when they're doing stuff right. And I think that goes into why we've been playing and being so successful lately.
And that's definitely one of the hardest things about being a leader. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Everyone takes criticism differently. Everyone takes positive reinforcement a lot differently, obviously. So it's like you gotta pick and choose who you talk to, how you talk to them, and Donato's very good at that in the locker room. He's very vocal. He knows what he's saying. Everyone listens to him. Very smart hockey.
Now, Donato, you also lead with your physicality, as we talked to multiple teammates who said, if I am in a fist fight and I need someone to have my back, it's you. So. Where did that physicality come from? Was it just from a young age, or the sports you played, or is it just something that's just been a part of you?
And
for
the
a while?
most important question: are you in fact the best fighter on the team?
Vinny
and Max both kowtowed to
It's
you.
okay. It's okay to humble brag on our show. It's fine. We just want a confirmation from the man himself.
No, listen, I just try and, play with heart, and I try and back up my teammates with, all my might. I'm not the biggest guy, and I know I'm not the strongest guy, but I'm not going to back down from anybody. And, when push comes to shove, I'm going to, do whatever I can for my teammates. And I think, the boys know that I, would literally sacrifice pretty much anything for anybody on the team. And, that's why I hope that they want me on their side. Not just the physical aspect, but yeah, if they need me to bang for them, I'll do that too. So
God, they only want you for your body.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it always goes?
I wish. Don't we all wish?
Is it hard for you sometimes not to drop the gloves against especially a heated?
Yeah.
You and Diatalevi were going at it. in the
Yeah,
Siena game.
it's tough because in juniors that's usually how we used to settle things. You could drop the gloves and then you get a 5-minute penalty or even at most a game suspension. Here it's a lot different, and you have not just the team to look out for because you don't want to set the wrong example, but the school as well. So we're always trying to set an example and be the better team. But sometimes when they say certain things about us and our school and our family and stuff, we get a little crazy. It happens. So. But it's always good to have that little rivalry and stuff. But at the end of the day, we're all just trying to play hockey, have fun, and have a good time.
And speaking of leadership, Austin, you've got the Captain C officially on your sweater. This may seem like an odd question, but how do you think that battling, because I learned a lot about your battle through lymphoma through Matt's project that he did. Was it last semester?
It was last semester. Yeah.
Last semester, and it was very, very inspiring, very courageous. How do you think that battle helped you with your leadership ability at all? Do you think that maybe influenced perspective? I don't know exactly what would go through your mind as you come back and assume a leadership role as soon as you come back. So I don't know what that would be like.
Well, it was definitely a growing experience. I spent a lot of time on my own just thinking because there's not much else you could do during those type of time periods, I guess. But yeah, because when you sit back and you don't have the energy to do stuff, all you do is think. I'm saying that I got a lot because it's hard to put into words, but
no, of course, yeah.
But
pondering about just life and how you're going to apply that sometimes on the ice.
Yeah, it's a hard question to answer, really, to be honest, at this point.
The only thing I could say maybe is just that we see how hard Kinger's worked and how hard he's battled, and I think just to see what he's gone through, it just pushes the team to be better and to battle harder and get behind him just the way he gets behind us. Because Kinger, if other than I don't know what everybody said about Kinger, but if you ever need anybody to be there for you, Kinger is there, and he's a person that supports the entire team, and he's there for the team, and he's not just there for himself. So I think that says a lot.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And I think it's incredible that Austin, you've battled back to a physical standpoint because you hit on that. To where you're now one of the strongest guys on the team. You're a two-way forward. You're battling in all three zones. Did you have to go through any sort of rigorous training to get back where you are? Because the physical training, you would never know, and I suppose that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But talk about what you had to do to get back to where you are, because I think that you're about as strong a guy as there is at this level.
Yeah, it's really good to see.
Well, I think it took me a whole year of after chemo to finally get back to the stage I am now. It was a lot of working out, it was a lot of eating healthy, trying to stay away from the booze when you can. You gotta take some weekends off.
I know there's some rough influences.
Yeah. But push comes to shove, I wanted to get back to the team. I wanted to be a contributor again. I wanted to make sure this was in my past and stayed in my past. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a rigorous workout. I try to work out 5 days a week, eat healthy, and I think eating is what really did it. Try to. Yeah, the booze problem.
Always the problem. Always the booze problem.
Yeah.
As long as it's not before.
You're here to hear, folks. So if you want to be healthy, just skip Darby's.
Or join the hockey team.
That's how Andy Dwyer got healthy in Parks and Rec season 6. So he cut out beer, he lost 50 pounds.
Apparently, yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, man.
All right, Mike.
Yeah.
Your senior year, time's running down. Favorite goal you've scored?
Oh man.
Or most memorable?
What is he, like Steven Stamkos? He's going to remember every goal he scored?
I don't know. That's really tough.
Every goal is a great goal.
I just try and do the best that I can for the team. And honestly, I guess the last one that I scored, in Siena was a great one, just to put that extra goal in net to make sure that they couldn't come back and to really secure the 87 Cup win. But I've scored goals, but I'm not I don't really care how they go in. I just care that they go in and that the team wins at the end of the day.
That's important. And also, as Rob said, you guys are going into, Michael, you're going into your last weekend. And Austin, you've been with these guys all 4 years. So obviously it's a little bit different perspective from both of you guys. What's your thoughts and everything going into this last weekend? You got 2 tough matchups, but it's your 2 last games at the Civic Center before playoff time. What's going through your head right now as you're going into practice, as you're going into the game?
I think we just need to be very focused, and I think, all of us are really trying to get up for these last 2 games. I know that we're going to work really hard this week in practice, myself included, and I think that we're just looking to go out, in the best way that we possibly can. Nobody's going to leave anything on the line, and I think we're all going to give it 110%, looking to win both of these games to, push it back. We don't want this to be our last 2 games of the season. We want to have at least a couple more left with that, with the boys and with the family. So hopefully that happens, and that's what we're looking for. I'm not looking to this as to be my last weekend of hockey. I'm looking to push for another couple of games, and hopefully that's what happens. But if it is my last weekend, it's been an amazing ride. I couldn't have asked for a better family over the past 2 years. When I transferred in, everybody came to me with open arms and really gave me the kind of atmosphere that they created around here, which is the family type atmosphere that everybody loves. So I couldn't have asked for a better team and better teammates, including Kinger. And I'm just very happy to end it here at Marist.
That's very well said.
Yeah.
It's getting heavy up in here.
Yeah.
Austin, anything like from you?
Could be my last 2 games ever.
Anything with you or just?
Yeah, like coming in as a freshman 4 years ago now, it's sad seeing all these guys graduate that I grew up playing with at this college, and everyone's grown a lot. They've all changed a lot. Like having Mike come in here now, Andy come in here like as transfers. It feels like they were here the whole time. Like best friends I've ever made for a long time now. And hockey is one of those things where, like, no matter what's going on outside the rink, you get to the rink, it's happy times, you're with your brothers, you guys are laughing nonstop. It's like there's something about just being on the ice with the guys that keeps everything in perspective and keeps your head level.
And being around everybody is just always great. It picks everybody up, and I'm sure that you guys can see, even when you guys are together, just commented on the games, I'm sure you guys are having a great time. It's just what you love to do. It's what we love to do. It's like,
We have an entertaining subject matter.
Yeah.
So there's never a dull moment.
That's it. Never a dull moment.
Yeah, and as you guys, we both, Austin not graduating yet, but as you're graduating, who are some guys on the team? I think I can pinpoint for Donato, but who are some guys that graduated that were influences to you coming into Marist?
For me, I think the last year captain Trevor Larkin and Brett Kaiser were two of my big ones. They kind of, and Blaine.
Brett was an entertaining guy.
Even Jimmy Maxon, who left. Jimmy opened his arms. Everybody really did. That was kind of why I really loved the school and why when I transferred in, I immediately knew that this was going to be, my home, and this is where I wanted to graduate, because everybody was just so, awesome and so together, and it just made coming here a hell of a lot easier than any other school I've ever been to. So, those 3 guys in particular, definitely, they had influenced me just by, allowing me to come over the house. I didn't have to stay at the Res Inn all the time, even though I had the jacuzzi and stuff over there. We were bringing the guys in, so it wasn't a bad time. It wasn't a bad time. Whether it was, showing me it was the important thing.
You could use that thing.
Whether it was showing me the cool spots on campus or, giving me like what it would have been like to be here freshman and sophomore year, they really showed me pretty much everything. And
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for, a better.
Austin, I'm sure obviously guys there, but anyone maybe like when you were a freshman or sophomore especially, like who just kind of opened their arms up to you?
I've made too many connections to count here from Marist College. All the guys I've met. I remember my freshman year, we had one captain named Patrick Ursuline.
Oh yeah.
Great. He was a great leader. He was a great hockey player. One of those guys like Donato, do whatever he can to be there for each other. And honestly,
he would play 45 minutes a night. He was incredible.
He was a phenomenal hockey player. He had the skill, he had the talent, he definitely had the mindset for it. Trevor, Kaiser, all those guys. I can't even put a name on how many great people I've met and look up to at this school.
Yeah.
Now, Austin, I don't know if you remember, you and I were in the same orientation group. I feel good about it because, we had talked about, we have some mutual friends overlapping from because you went to Carmel, so I know Luke McGee and Connor Garrity and some of those guys.
Well, I did not know you were close to Connor Garrity. That's one of my best friends from home.
Yeah, so
that's funny.
And you had leaned over to me at one point because we were just sitting. It was dead silence at orientation because it's so awkward at orientation. And you had your Colorado Avalanche hat on. You lean over and you just go, I love all the people wearing Marist shirts here. Ooh, you go to Marist? I'm so surprised. That's the greatest. Day one, Austin King was ragging on people. We're going, that's the greatest shit.
He's savage.
How far we've come here.
I forgot about that comment.
Jokes are made, you know.
I had to try to say something. I didn't know what to say. I see a lot of Marist apparel. I'm like, all right, that's
Look,
something I
it's
could
an
use.
astute observation. I will say that much. So obviously, you're obviously a local guy, and there are a couple of local guys. I mean, Jimmy Maxson was obviously a pretty local guy.
Yeah.
So what was really about Marist, and maybe Marist hockey in particular, that really drew you to it, especially since you're so close? Was it the fact that you were able to, be at the Civic Center and see it that maybe turned you to it?
Nobody comes here because of the Civic Center.
You're right.
I feel like it was your dad.
People don't come to Marist College and go, wow, they have the Civics. Oh my God. Wow.
In your story, you had told
Look at the amenities.
You had told me in the story that I did on you that your dad brought you here when you were 5.
Yeah,
That's where you got started skating.
The first place I ever actually stepped on ice to play hockey actually happened to be the Civic Center.
Full
I had
circle.
out of random coincidence.
And you said, yes, this is a path I want to go down.
Casey,
Not
look, it's the
not
pool of
even.
water where the ice rink's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna see your name in the lights someday here.
The locker rooms, there's so much room for activities.
Yeah, but what was that like? Obviously, it is coming full circle, but as you were saying.
So what happened there is I was trying out for this team up near my hometown, and the rink actually closed down or burnt or something. The ice wasn't.
How does an ice rink burn?
Yeah, it wasn't ready. It wasn't ready for tryouts. So the only place available was the Civic Center, so we'd drive all the way up here for the tryout. And I absolutely hated hockey. I'll be honest. My dad forced me to get on the ice, and I was so mad about it. I wanted to be playing sports with my other friends and doing that stuff. And then after the third time on the ice, he made me come obviously for 4 times, 5 times. Fell in love with it by the third time. Started to pick it up. I wasn't falling all the time. And then
That is interesting. 'cause
tough love. Tough love.
It was weird. It was love-hate.
It's not one of those sports I don't want to barrage sports here, but it's not like soccer where anyone can play, really. If you can run and you can kick, you can play soccer. Hockey takes a very unique skill set that if you're not good at it at first, it's a little frustrating.
So how'd you get your start, Donato? Obviously, you're a little bit different situation, obviously, but...
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started my first time. I actually saw somebody on rollerblades, and I when I was 3 years old, and I was with my grandmother, and I was like, "That's what I want to do." And so they got me these little Fisher Price rollerblades when I was about 4 years old.
Wow.
No joke. And I would rollerblade around my living room floor, and so
You're like, this guy's a prodigy.
Yeah.
I knew it.
You were the baddest mother on Fisher Price.
Fisher Price skates, man. They were legit.
Wow.
So my grandfather actually happened to scout for the Rangers back in the day, so he actually was like, "Oh, we should take you to the rink and maybe see if you could ice skate." So I was there with my cousin, my mom, and my aunt, and they were kind of older.
There,
than me.
at the
At
garden?
the rink. No, not at the garden. We actually went to Chelsea Pierce. Was the first place I ever skated.
And you realize, oh my God, this
This
rink
is
is terrible.
how-
I never want to play here again.
Yeah, ever again. That's why I didn't go to NYU. But not really. But either way, so I'm on my skates, and my cousin was skating backwards, kind of just holding me, and I just kind of pushed him away and started skating around, and that was pretty much it. I went into house league after that, and then slowly after that travel hockey, and I just made my way up. I just really loved the game. I love playing it. They tried to put me in other things. I tried to play baseball, but I was just picking grass in the outfield. I
just want to hit someone, guys.
No other sport was for me. I just loved hockey. I put all my time and effort into it, and I just always loved to get better at it. So
Certainly, yeah.
Who were the heroes growing up?
Oh, we had fun.
Oh man, growing up, I had probably 2. I loved Mark Messier. It was the absolute aspect of a captain that, if anybody could.
Are both of you guys Ranger fans? What are you a fan?
I'm a Kings fan actually, but I like to watch the Rangers
Awesome
for all
King, the
these
Kings
area teams.
So and then my favorite, where the number 27 comes from, which I couldn't get this year because they couldn't order New Jerseys. But my favorite, Alexei Kovalev. He was on the.
Wow, AK-27, yeah.
And now I noticed you wear 27 on your helmet.
Yeah, on
still,
my
though.
helmet. Yeah, still. It's okay. It's still there. If I would.
How did you become a Kings fan? That's what I'm
It's the last name. I was a little I was like a little kid playing hockey with all my friends.
So were you a Sacramento Kings fan too?
Oh, no, it was just hockey. It was just hockey.
Oh my
we were just in the locker room one day, and they're like, "Oh my God, Austin, we have there's a professional hockey team named after you." And I was like, "Wow, professional hockey team named after me. That's pretty cool. That's my team. I'm probably gonna play there one day."
They just happen to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So he's got a Dwight King jersey at home.
I tell everyone it's mine, but it's my name and stuff.
On weekends, I fly out to LA on their fourth liner.
It's alright. It's pretty cool.
That must have been tough though, because
About the
you're
number 2.
Number 2? Oh, number 2 is actually.
Are you the only person on the team that's kept their number all 4 years? Have you been?
Seems like it so far.
I have. I think.
Vinny wore like 10 different numbers.
Yeah, I know
this
Max
year.
changed a couple of times.
Did
but
Kaiser wear 9 the whole
I think Kaiser might have worn 9 the whole
Kaiser
time
wore 9.
too. Mine actually, my hockey number growing up was number 14 my whole career actually. And then I came to Marist and I got number 14. But what happened was, apparently the year before, someone like got actually really hurt and they had to cut the 14
That
jersey
was Griffin.
in half.
Yeah, he lived
Oh,
right
that's
next to
right.
me. Yeah,
And then
Griffin
so
Durant.
I was like, they couldn't. You have to pick a new jersey, and the only jersey left was number 2 from like one of the previous captains from the year before me, Chris Sabino. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to fill these shoes that were really big.
Yeah, chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. So I got that number, and I was like, all right, this is my
And then
next
Chris
4
was your
years.
coach the next year. So
Yeah, he was,
all right.
Yeah, that's even bigger. I must imagine. Well, you guys have also had like a few coaching changes. I'm sure. I mean, I think, but you've been around for Beck. the whole
Yeah,
time.
I've been around
But
for Beck.
you've had a few coaching changes. What was that like for you? Obviously, but you did switch coaches by transferring.
Well,
So
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
So what was that like adapting to the new play styles from both of them?
Oh, the styles were completely different in my opinion. Like Chris Sabino was very like hands off. He was a very great hockey player. Can't say anything more about that kid. But his coaching style is a lot different than Beck. Beck is like a lot more fundamentally structured. He likes to go in there with like every type of plan. And Sabino is like a great hockey player. And he was like, hey, like read and react. Like I know you guys are all good enough to like understand where the puck's gonna go and like make the right play on that point. But Beck is a lot more. Hey, like this is what we want to do. Like this is where we want to put the puck, and this is how we want to try to angle it to like this.
The team does seem a lot more structured this year than in the past, in that you guys have a definitive play on the power play, where you're setting up in the OV spot over in the far side circle, and
Waiting for it.
Kinger's back to running the point here. You're taking the time. Like, is it hard running the point as a forward naturally, or have you done that?
I like
before
playing
college?
the point. I think it's like you see a little more open. Like you get to see everything going on. And yeah, I used to play defense a lot growing up, so like I was comfortable back there, and they moved me back there.
Yeah, and the makeup of your team is a lot different too, because obviously when Pat Ursling was around, it was Pat Ursling.
It was
Pat
Pat
Ursling.
and like
The
Cam
Pat show.
Rosada.
It was a Pat Wrestling show, but now you guys are much more, you know, I hate to say a team-oriented team because you have so many guys that are just like on the high point range, but you also got a lot of guys who pass it back and forth to each other. There's no one guy really who leads the charge. It's really just offense coming from everywhere.
Yeah, and I think that was the big thing that we touched on in the beginning of the year was how deep our team actually is. And, you know, from our first line pretty much to our fourth line, everybody can really skate, pass, and shoot, you know. So it's, you know, it's really like a thin line between, you know, there's really, you know, first line really isn't the first line, just, you know, it's just called the first line. We don't think of it as, you know, the first line's the best line. You know, that's not
You
how
guys
we
roll
see it.
3 lines pretty consistently.
3 lines very
yeah.
consistently because, you know, we believe at the end of the day, no one line's going to do it. You know, the team is going to do it, you know, and we need everybody to be contributing. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if our first and second line go out the entire game, we're exhausted. We really can't make the same type of plays that we can make when we're a little more rested. You need guys that, like the third and fourth line, that are going to go out there. And I think the third and fourth line have been some of our more successful lines to really pick the team up. I mean, you know, on the third line you have, you know, 3 really fast guys that we put there for a reason, so that way they could get the puck in deep and really change the momentum of the game. And I think, you know, just going from, like you said, from a 1 or 2 guy show to a full team, you know, really made the difference. And, you know, I think that's, you know, contributed to our overall success this year.
Yeah, and it's definitely great having like superstars like in the past we had with like Patch and Cam and stuff. But like nowadays when everyone's so like tight group, like you look at the stats and everyone's like 21, 20, 19, 18, everyone's like right there, and everyone like wants to be the best in like some aspect. So it's like, I know me and Donato always like compete with each other and like, mess around out there. Like we want to be the best.
Between power play 1 and power play 2, the coaches are always betting on who's going to get more goals. So we're always trying to battle on each other and just, you know,
it makes us better.
It makes us better, and it really does make the team better because we're all really trying to do the best that we can. So.
Yeah.
That's a tough battle too, because the top line, you've got Flynn and Roberts on one pairing, the two of them. Between the two of them, they have like 10 power play goals.
They are like the power
they're doing
play.
great on power
play.
No, they do.
So you
have
balance
great
that with
goals.
you and Vinny on the other defensive pair.
Yeah.
That's
Big shoes to fill too. Tough battle.
Listen, it's a tough battle, but they can get the job done just as good as we can.
Of course,
And, you know,
yeah,
at the end of the day, sometimes our power play, sometimes the structure of our power play works against other teams, and theirs sometimes works better on others. So.
and it must be doing something right, because you had 4 power play goals against Siena on Friday.
But who's counting, really?
Not that we're
We
Not
won that
flexing our
one.
muscles.
We won
not
that
that we're
one
flexing our
for
muscles.
Randy. Yeah.
So just past college, do you guys see hockey in your future at all? Like just like in any aspect?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to keep playing, not like professionally or anything. Obviously, just probably mentally with everybody. If I could get a team with a lot of the boys, that'd be great. But ultimately, just
No, you said your grandfather was scouting for the Rangers, so clearly he can hook you
Well,
up.
no, that was back in the day. Now he's retired now. He worked DEP, he was like the Department of Environmental Protection. He did like the water and stuff for the city. But that was a long time ago. He's like he's kind of really old now. But
He can hook you up. You're better than Tanner Glass. Listen, how bad can you be? He's hooking all of us up, guys. We all have jobs.
No way, that'd be awesome, man.
Casey,
Yeah, I guess you have the MSG connection. Come on.
Yeah.
Casey, your Yeti microphone's better than Tanner Glass.
That's true. That's very true.
It probably is, but I mean, listen, I'm just looking to have fun after this with hockey, and then ultimately focus on really what I came to school for, because it's what it's really gonna get me somewhere.
Yeah.
Can you see a player or coaching future at all in the future?
I don't know. I've done some thinking about that like in the past, and I think after college, we played a lot of hockey here. Obviously, it's a long season. You get tired and beat up, and I think I'm gonna try to focus on like my career, like Donato said, like do here what I can to come to school and see where that takes me, and then probably play men's league in the weekends with my buddies from home, and hopefully with these guys in the city. It'd be great. I just hang out once a week.
Well, like you said, it'd be great to maybe help out and give some of the knowledge that I have and pass it on to some of the kids. I know, like when I go back home on the weekends, I go to my local rink that I've worked for since I was like a kid, and I just help like little kids with the fundamentals of the game and stuff, and I enjoy doing that. So maybe I'd do something with coaching later on, but it's hockey's hockey. When you're around the game and you love it so much, you just want to stay around it. So it's tough to ever hang up your skates, for real.
I picture Mike as Will Ferrell from Kicking and Screaming. Play dirty if you have to, but don't get caught.
Shot block to the back of
All
the
right,
head.
here's how you square up on a guy. Come on,
It's
there
the
you
proper way to cross-check, guys. You gotta pay attention to this, all right? You gotta go for the back of the neck, all right?
Anything for a victim.
go. Oh wow! I guess that's a lesson learned here. Really. Anything for the dub. Absolutely.
You guys got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Your contributions to the team over these 4 years have been invaluable, and we have a lot of fun covering you guys. So, Michael, you'll have fun graduating and being a real person. And, Austin, how many more semesters do you have?
Two more semesters.
So you're back next year, and that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah,
so
it should be.
if you keep the King Jenga connection together
that's a 10.
for another year with Seamus O'Rourke filling out that line,
Lethal line.
that's a lethal line. So we're looking forward to you guys' success next year.
Hope we got a bunch more games left in the season now.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Can't look too far ahead.
Absolutely. No,
Of course.
but
Speaking of, this Friday night they're going to be playing the Roger Williams Hawks, which is going to be a very important game for their playoff standing. And then on Saturday is going to be senior night festivities starting Saturday at 4 p.m. against Montclair State. Their first game of the season was an overtime winner against Montclair, and of course they have history dating back to last year against Montclair with heartbreaking losses on both. Was it senior night last year and the playoffs?
And the playoffs.
So the goal is to play a 60-minute game and not a 59-minute, 54-second game.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
that's rubbing it away.
That was before we sign off, because we traveled to Danbury to call that game. We were sitting in the penalty box, and I had somewhere to be at like 6 p.m. And we knew we had to leave by 5. And at 4:50, it goes into overtime. We're like, wait, this can't go on.
Give me those 2 more minutes.
I'm going to be late. I can't be late.
And then-
it ended like 4:54.
Yeah.
So we're really pulling for you guys coming up to this next postseason and senior night. I hope you guys close it out with the win.
We definitely really appreciate it, and we thank you for even having us on. You guys do a great job.
it's a lot of fun, too.
us.
We
It's
love
a lot of
it.
fun.
We love talking to you.
We love
guys.
hearing you guys. We love watching you after the game, just commenting on the game and stuff. It gives us a lot to look over and look forward to. So we appreciate it from you guys
Definitely
too.
think you guys made us a lot more popular on campus.
Absolutely.
That was our goal the whole time. You guys are the most popular athletes.
Definitely tune into these guys. They're going to be the real thing in a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.